Hey mini totems, it's Papa Flesh here. So in this video I'm going to be talking about a couple useful macros and things like that. Just a few important macros that can really help make your day a lot easier. And then I'm also going to do my monthly checking out my gear and my dummy tests in this video as well as another useful kind of macro slash trick with a legendary that you can do. So let's start off with some macros. Slash macro. Alright, there's a couple things here that I like to use. One of the ones is just if you're playing Ascendance, your basic Ascendance macro. I macro it in with I'm a troll, so Berserking is a 3-minute cooldown, as well as Nod Thumbring is a 3-minute cooldown. That is our bad boy right here. It increases your healing and magic damage by 5%. So just macro that in, all with Ascendance, not Thumbring, Berserking, and then I have it slash cast Lava Burst, so as soon as I hit Berserking, or it shows tooltip Berserking, that's only because if I don't use Ascendance, then this doesn't turn into a question mark, like of these. I hate seeing that on my bar, so that's why I have it show tooltip Berserking, but whatever. Yeah, this just makes it so whenever you use Ascendance, then you just straight up start casting a Lava Burst just to make it really easy. You're not wasting any time or anything. Let's see here. Bloods. What other good stuff do I got here? Alright, so this is the Earthbind Totem. You can do this for all targetable totems. Hashtag show tooltip, just so you can see what you're actually casting. And then you have slash cast, and then in brackets at cursor, and then after that space and the name of the spell. That'll pretty much do one thing. It'll get rid of that targeting reticle and it'll auto place it at your cursor. So this can actually increase DPS in some scenarios, especially with Earthquake, because with Earthquake, if you're casting a spell and you don't yet have the 50 Maelstrom drop Earthquake, then you can't even pre-get the Earthquake and ready to place it. You have to wait until you get the 50, and then you can spam click it, and then you get the placement icon, and then you could put it down, and you can lose DPS. So, but the things with Earthbind Totem, with Lightning Surge Totem, just drop it. Earthquake, wherever you want to drop it, it just saves time, and you don't need to worry about the targeting reticle. Although do keep in mind, this can be a little annoying at first. Once you get used to it, I got used to it really pretty quickly, within less than a day, and then it was going on. Just you need to be aware in advance of where you're going to want to place it, and then have your mouse cursor there. So it does take maybe a little more skill, but it's super easy. So I have it for an Earthbind Totem. I have it for Earthquake as well. I also have it for my Lightning Surge Totem stun. But yeah, that's a great macro. Keep that in mind. Fire Ellie macro. So this is something to stop Fire Ellie from pre-pulling. Because as you know now, that and Earth Elemental, if you're targeting something, will automatically just run up and attack it in range. And that'll pull bosses early. So there's a couple ways around this. One thing, you can just not target the whatever your boss is or something, and then you precast your fire elemental, and then you target the boss right after that. That way it won't attack the boss. The other way you can do it, which I've found is not 100% accurate and will always work, it's this macro right here. So it's my show tooltip, so just it'll show the tooltip of the spell. So what you do is it'll slash target Fleshtotem, but you're going to have your name here. Whatever your name is, you put your name, not my name, obviously. So it'll target yourself. Then you put slash cast fire elemental. So essentially what it does is it targets you, and then it casts the fire elemental. So it's not engaging on the boss. And then the last target, or the last thing you put here in the macro is slash target last target. Now this pretty much means that it'll target whatever your last target is. So generally you're targeting the boss, you're ready to pull. When you use this, which I actually have it right here, it will just target you super fast, cast it, and then retarget the boss, which just means that it won't pull the boss when you use it. However, I have had this still pull on a couple occasions. It's pretty rare. I generally don't trust macros. There was another macro that Blizzard talked about, but I don't have it here, I'm sorry. But Yeah, I generally, a lot of the time, just to be safe, I won't even target the boss. I'll use it real fast and target the boss right after. Not a big deal. It's just a little annoying. Alright, I'll go into that one in a second. Yeah, here's the Lightning Surge Totem, cast at cursor. Alright, this is the important thing here. So let me start off by just showing equipment sets, okay? So we have equipment sets, my normal Ellie set. I have a helm set, which puts on the legendary helm in place of the belt. And I also have an AoE set, which just puts on the legendary bracers instead of the belt. So with that said, there's a couple things that you can do. You may have seen or heard me talk about the helm macro. Um, Essentially what it does is the Bloodlust Helm Uncertain Reminder Bloodlust effects last 30 seconds longer on you. That's really awesome. Now, what you can do with this is that if you lust when you're not in combat and you're able to switch your helmet out for something else, as long as you lusted or received benefit of the Bloodlust or Heroism while you had the helmet equipped, you will gain the benefit even if you take off the helmet. I assume this is a bug, I assume this is not attended, but people have been asking for a fix since the expansion started and it hasn't been fixed yet. Or since 7.1 or whatever came out when this was released. So, yeah, this will be... this is something that you should try to do. And essentially what you do is you have it equipped and you have like a macro, which I'm going to show you in a second, and during your normal opener, whenever you cast like Fire Elemental and then Prepon Elemental Blast, what you do is you Fire Elemental and then you use your Lust right as you start your precast for Elemental Blast. So you do Lust about like 1.5 seconds early in a fight before you enter combat, but essentially what you're doing in the macro is you are having your helmet equipped and then you're hitting the Lust button. Okay, like, which in this case this is a macro that'll show in a second, and it's going to lust for you and then swap out gear sets for like whatever other gear set you want. In my case, it removes the helmet and equips the belt. So essentially when I lust on pull, you gain benefit of 3 legendaries. The only bad thing about this is, yeah, it doesn't work on some fights because you have to lust on pull for this to work, or essentially like 1 second or so before you pull. The other bad thing is you're kind of taking away 1 second of lust from other people for you to gain 30 seconds. So it does work out about even, like everyone, if you're in a mythic raid, all your DPS lose maybe 1.5 seconds, so you have like maybe 14 DPS, they lose 1.5 seconds, but you gain 30 seconds. So overall it is a good gain, and yeah, I'm not gonna like talk about that. It does suck sometimes if people really want to parse and get that extra second in, but it will be an overall DPS increase for your raid. At least I would imagine so. You just get more lust benefit. So let's go into the actual macro, see what it is. Alright, so I have 2 of them. I have one that equips set Ellie and one that equips set AoE. Now what you want to do is you want to make sure that you have those equipment sets and you want to make sure that they're always updated with your most current or best gear. This is to prevent when you do these equip set things that it'll try to equip the wrong pieces or stuff like that. So whenever you get an upgrade, you need to make sure to update all of your equipment sets. Now, what this macro pretty much is, it's the show tooltip, so I get the lust tooltip. Then it'll cast Bloodlust, and then right after that it'll equip set space the name of your set. Mine is Ellie. You have to keep in mind that you also need to capitalize whatever letters are capitalized with the actual set itself. So essentially what this does is I have my helmet equipped. See if I can open that too. So it'll cast Bloodlust while my helm's equipped, and then it'll immediately equip set Ellie. Which my equip set Ellie, boom, takes away the helmet, puts on the belt. And I also have one that is for AoE. Does the same thing. It'll start with the helm, I lust, I get the benefit of the helm, and then it'll equip set my AoE set for like an AoE fight or something like that. So it's a pretty interesting thing. Just remember, test it out. Like, don't just make the macro and then like think it's good. Like, make sure you test it. Make sure you exactly put whatever the name of the set is, including capital letters. Otherwise, it will not work. At least it was not working for me. So, yeah, pretty much what I'm going to be doing here in a minute is I'm going to be doing a DPS test showing that trick, like a 5-minute test, but I'm also going to be showing my gear real fast. So let's go ahead and show the gear and get into like my gear and sim DPS, and then we'll go into the 5-minute dummy test. So I have a 910 tier helmet. It's pretty nice. I like that quite a lot. 920 neck versus mastery. Oh, and I do understand that yes, helmet is not normally one of the pieces we use, but because it was better than my other helmet, and I had a better replacement for one of my other tier pieces, that this was an upgrade for me specifically. Just keep in mind, generally we don't use the helm or the shoulder as our tier pieces because in a in like a optimal best case scenario where everything's the same item level, you'll be able to get better shoulders and helmet, like the crit mastery shoulders, and there's a crit mastery helmet from Crosis. So keep in mind that yes, I am using the helmet, but it's generally not our best piece. So again, 910 helmet, got the 920 verse mastery neck, got some 905 crit mastery shoulders. I also have the set shoulders from, like this is from Quarter Stars in my bag, it's crit mastery. I do not have the bracers. The bracers are from Arcway. And if you do have this set, by the way, the proc is worth about 20 item levels on each piece, or about 40 item levels total. So if you have like 905s in both slots, it is worth dropping down to 885 in both slots to get that benefit. That's about what it's worth. So just keep that in mind for yourself. So I have the shoulders. I have a fashionable autumn cloak. It is a crit haste cloak, and it is 920. That's why I'm using this instead of my tier cloak, because I essentially got a higher helmet upgrade and a cloak upgrade when I got that helmet. So yeah, it's pretty awesome. Got the 915 crit mastery Warforged tier chest, 910 of the crit mastery bracers. Got some tier gloves, 905. Have the pristine protoscale girdle, legendary belt, excellent. Got 900 tier legs. Got 925 booties. This was a nice drop last week. It's the benefit of being like the only male wearer in the raid. I pretty much get whatever drops. It's pretty nice. I definitely set it up that way. Yes. Not thumb ring. I have the twisting nether. Awesome. Have a 905 metronome. 895 whispers. Now my weapon is 929 item level. I have 47 traits right now. I am about a quarter of the way to the next one, to 48, which will be, I guess probably AoE trait finally, Chain Lightning or Earthquake, probably Chain Lightning in my opinion. So I have Chain Lightning, Earthquake, and then the 2 heal ones to go before I can get Concordance. So getting up there, playing a lot. My relics, 905 Storm Relic, Chain Lightning. My other Storm Relic is 905 Nature Damage. And then my Frost Relic is 910 Molten Blast, Lava Burst, crit strike damage. So not ideal here at all, but I've never gotten higher than an 890 Lava Imbued, so these are definitely upgrades just because they're much higher item level. I do also have the helmet, Legendary Helmet. So what I'm going to be doing here is I'm fully buffed, as you can see. And I'm going to do, my sim DPS is 905,000, just right around there, so 905k, 905,000. But I'm going to be doing a DPS test for 5 minutes to match that. The only thing is I'm going to use the helm swapping thing, which is not accounted for in the sim, so likely it would be a little higher than that, although not by a huge amount, maybe by like 10, 15k top, so maybe 920k, I don't know. But I'm just going to do that just because I wanted to see what I can do. So I have a nice handy little button right here, helmet, boom, equips the helmet. So I'm going to go ahead and prepare myself for this. Notice that I'm using that Fire Ellie macro I talked about, so I will be using it here, should work just fine, I hope. So, precast that, pot, lust, Ellie blast, go right into some lava burst. Just spam the fuck out of these lava bursts. And as you can see, I have still a minute left on Lust. And I'm also getting belt stacks, so the macro worked. I don't even have Power of the Maelstrom. There we go. It's good. would have been terrible if I didn't have that. Oh, I got another one. Nice. Still have lust, which is nice. It normally would have ran out by now. But that is the benefit of the helm swap. First potion's about to wear out. So lust is about to wear out right now. So yep, we're a minute and 10 seconds into the fight. Lust is worn out. Sad face. God, I love it when our shot crits. Hits so hard. Alright, let's use a second Stormkeeper here. No power of the Maelstrom, but it's fine. Can't always get a power of the Maelstrom. Got a Whispers proc. So we're just going along here for another like 3-ish minutes. Wow, another Whispers proc. Getting them back to back. No. Missed the Lava Surge. Still over 1 million DPS right now. Can't even speak. It's been about 2 minutes and 30-ish seconds into the fight. Still hovering around 1 million. Not bad. Get another Lava Burst cast in. No power of the Maelstrom. Sad. Refreshing Flame Shock. Finish my Stormkeeper charges. Gonna be setting up for the second Ascendance here pretty soon. Still hovering just over 1 million DPS. It's gonna drop right before I pop the second Ascendance, but I'm gonna pop the second Ascendance after I get the Fire Ellie up and going. Get max benefit from the Fire Ellie and a Potion of Prolonged Power. Guildmates right here. Let's go ahead and drop that. Gonna use my Power of the Maelstrom real fast. Oh dear. The procs. Alright, and we about to go Ascendance, boys. Would love for a Whispers proc right now, but... Dude, where are my overloads, actually? Oh, guys, the bad luck. It's horrible. Oh, Whispers proc, just about 5 seconds late. Didn't even get a Power of the Maelstrom from that Ascendance. The whole test is ruined. So we're going about another minute here, pretty much until Lust comes off cooldown. I pop back up to 1 million DPS, but in 5 seconds Fire Ellie drops and Potion drops, so I'll likely drop down to about 550k in the next 40 seconds. Oh, he's going ham. He's going big. Alright, our last refresh Flame Shock. About 15 more seconds to go. And keep in mind we did use Lust about, 1 to 2 seconds before the pull. Get one more Stormkeeper in. Pretty much after the Stormkeeper, it's done. So I dropped down to about, 930k, we can say. Just go with that. So that was the DPS I was able to do, which was, it was about 25k above my sim DPS. Man, I'm getting trolled with Whispers procs. Remember, that was using the helm swap macro. So I did have the helmet on. I used my macro that gave me benefit of the helmet and stuff like that. So keep that in mind. But yeah, that is awesome. So I hope I hope the macros and stuff that I talked about in this, those like 3, 4 macros, were really able to help you guys because I get a lot of questions about the macros and what I use and why doesn't your fire really pull the boss and where's your targeting reticle for this and what's the helm swap macro, stuff like that. So I hope that I was able to help you guys here, and I appreciate you watching this, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much.